In February 2024, I continued my Hmong culture trip and went to Sapa, Vietnam. I walked from the center of the city to a Hmong village within walking distance. There was a serious traffic jam on the narrow road leading to the village. I wonder if there is an accident. But soon as I arrived at the village, I realized the reason behind the traffic jam. I'm not sure if you can see, but there is a big party down in the ground amongst heavy fog. That's what attracted the traffic to the village. Having experienced the Hmong culture in China earlier that month, I of course knew what party it was.
Hello, I'm Yan. I'm in Sapa, Vietnam. My channel is mainly about Chinese culture and history, but why do I make a video in Vietnam? It's because this is a Hmong village and Hmong people came from China. Actually, the majority Hmong people are still living in China, and in China we call them Miao people.
In an earlier video, I introduced the Kaihua Prefecture, a district existing in the Qing Dynasty of China on the border of China and Vietnam. Most Hmong outside China came from this area. Sapa is here, roughly 40 kilometers away from the Hekou border crossing.
Ever since I knew there are also Hmong people living in Vietnam, I've been curious about them. What are their villages like? Do they have the same lifestyle? That's why I'm here. It is so beautiful here, and it's really similar to the view in Miao villages in China. The terrace, the fields, and the stream down there. If I have to name one difference, I think it is so foggy here, and the fog comes and goes.
I was not kidding. Just a few minutes later, as I came back from the edge of the cliff, the valley was all covered by fog. In the dense fog, a yellow sculpture was visible. I immediately figured out what it was thanks to my knowledge of the Hmong culture.
I believe this sculpture is the traditional musical instrument that Hmong people play. In China, we call it Lu Shen. I don't know how they call it here in Vietnam. The ancient village pretty much starts here, cascading along the hill. And let's take a look.
This family engages in traditional Hmong linen production. Buffalo horn is the traditional culture symbol. The mountain view, the terraced fields, and the wooden houses took me back to a Miao village in southwest China's Guizhou province I visited a few years ago. That time, I was going up from the valley. Wooden houses lined up on both sides of the narrow path. It's a special type of house, very popular in mountainous areas in southwest China. Part of the house sticks out of its foundation and is supported by posts. In the past, the lower space was used as a barn to raise chicken and other domestic animals. It was a common practice, but this is not allowed in China anymore for hygiene and health reasons. Layers and layers of such wooden houses cover the mountains on both sides of the valley. In Sapa, I purposely paid attention to see if the wooden houses are of the same style. They're not. Although the houses are also on terraces, each one is on its individual terrace, not spanning two.
Here there is an old house where we can take a free tour. Let's go to see what a traditional Hmong house looks like.
This black coat with traditional Hmong embroidery caught my attention. Some Western researchers categorize Hmong people by the color of their outfit, such as black Hmong, white Hmong, blue Hmong. With the black coat, I assume the villagers here are black Hmong. In China, I also saw Hmong people in white dress. I guess they are white Hmong in the standard. But I don't know any difference between black Hmong and white Hmong, and I'm not sure if that's a correct way to categorize Hmong people. After I walked down to the bottom of this path, I made a U-turn and kept walking down to the valley where there is a stream and a small waterfall. The valley turned out to be the most lively place in the entire village. Near the entrance to the village, the party was still going on. The trunk erected in the ground looked so familiar. In China's Yunnan province, Hmong people were celebrating the same festival. The activities of the festival are centered around the long trunk. It's called the Flower Mountain Festival in China, and it usually lasts for around 10 days. I was able to see the beginning party in Yunnan province, but I didn't expect I would see it in Vietnam. Even the activities were very similar. Tossing for prizes. Only the prices were different. There's also singing competition of contemporary Hmong songs. Everything looks so similar, only the flag on top of the trunk reminds me this is Vietnam. When I was leaving, the fog became thicker and thicker, covering up the face of the small village, just like when I arrived. That's it. Time's up for today. I went back to the city. My deepest impression of city Sapa was its combination of Hmong culture and French culture. The traces of Hmong culture are evident on the large board erected in the circus in the center of the city. On the board, I see the traditional Hmong musical instrument Lu Shen and the Hmong embroidered patterns. The influence of the French culture was more visible on the architectures of the city. The landmark of the city would be this French-style building. I think it's a train station, and I heard there's a cable from here to Pho Siccan, the highest mountain in Vietnam. Actually, many people came to Sapa for hiking. This cathedral on the other side of the circus is another landmark. The city is full of cafes and restaurants. I took this opportunity to have my favorite dessert, banana pancake with Nutella sauce, which I didn't have in China for a long time. I can't read the inscriptions on this monument, but coming from a socialist country, I found the relief on the monument very familiar, especially the scarves the kids wear. Kids in elementary schools in China wear similar red scarves. I guess the relief signifies the unity of different ethnic groups in Vietnam. What's also similar is the vitality of a fast-growing economy, which I've also been experiencing in China. Thanks for watching the video. I'm Yan Yan. Subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next time.